So when you see an image like this, the only thing that is supposed to come to your mind is, oh, this is the drawing of a child in a swimsuit and she's doing childlike activities, and there's nothing to be said about it other than that, right? Well, what if I told you that you were absolutely shit wrong about this right now? Because there are people that have taken it upon themselves to become what they call lolly lovers, bro. Like, they have formed this whole alliance, this whole council of the gathering of a bunch of degenerate activities that I have never even heard of or even dared to imagine, bro. And when you try to call them out on all these kind of activities and say that what they are doing is straight off PDF filing, they are saying, hey, she's not real, she ain't real, bro. So there is no way I'm committing a crime right now because it's just a drawing. Now, this is something that popped up on Reddit, and I'm just here to show you, like, this is one of the things that I saw that actually piqued my interest in this whole thing, because I've heard it in conversation, but this whole thing became too much. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Now, it says here that sadly, lolicon is a thing in anime, and despite how disgusting it is, there are too many fans who seem willing to defend it. It doesn't sit well with a lot of individuals, including myself, as the term comes from a really gross book about a pedo. Who would want you to be associated with that? So why would you want to be associated with that? Which is valid, because honestly, like, you should not even be willing to defend such art form when you know that the whole thing is just basically sexualizing minors. Like, you know what it's about and you are willing to defend it because you say it's quote unquote a drawing. It makes no sense. Second, the whole is just a drawing thing is not excusable, as by that logic, if then being aroused by anime men means one is not gay. Exactly. We're calling a spade here. So if you find out that you are attracted to anime men, does that not mean you are gay? I mean, think about it now. Like, if you like big, tall, muscular guts girls in anime, bro, I'm not judging. That might be your preference. There is no issue with that. I see no reason why you should be attacked for it, because it's your personal taste. Because definitely what you like in anime in a way bleeds into reality, or it is what you saw in reality that bleeds into anime, bro. Your preference is either affected from what you saw into reality or reality into what you consume on the internet. That is just how it is. There is no in between. You still being turned on by something that looks like a child with its feature is crazy. And honestly, that is the truth. You like a character that has childlike features, but you use the old excuse that, oh, she's 1,000 years old, she's 1,000,000 years old, she just has the body of a child, bro. No, we are not going to stand with that. We are not going to stand with it. And I hate the whole misconception about the age of consent in Japan to make the country seem like some kind of anime/weeb haven, and it's absurd that this still gets thrown around. Anyway, it's unbelievable that lolicon has defenders, and it is the feel, and I get the feeling it's mainly Western fans. I understand it's looked down upon in Japan. This says a lot, honestly, because the age of consent in Japan is how old? Let's do a quick Google search and see what the age of consent is in Japan. Let's just see this. It's 16. It's 16. Japan raised the age of sexual consent to 16 from 13. There was a time in Japan when the age of consent was 13, bro, which is even crazy. It was crazy that it was ever 13, bro. At 13 years old, I barely even knew what it was, but I barely even knew who I wanted to be at that time. At 13, I was still busy playing with toys, bro. I didn't even know my left from my right, and you're telling me that somebody is able to give age of consent for sexual activities at 13, bro. But thankfully, they raised it to 16. And now it is 16, which is still crazy, because left to me, age of consent should be 18 and above. I will stand on it until the day I die. That is just my own way of saying it. But then again, it's far better than the way it was before. It's far better than the way it was before, but it is still crazy. It's still crazy. Now, this is another one again. I've read some subreddit posts about lolis and people's opinion on it, and I think this may help. Just because someone likes 2D little girls doesn't mean they would also like little girls in real life. Some of them just see them as unattractive children. Lock this guy up. Lock him, arrest him, lock him, throw away the key, bro. Why would you even tag children as unattractive? That is the very first red card, bro. So that means they are probably children that you would find attractive, bro. Because I ask again, what is actually quote unquote attractive with this image, bro? Like, there is nothing that is supposed to have your willy standing at 90 degrees when you look at this image, bro. There should be nothing here. Is it the whole appearance of a childlike fantasy that you are trying to have? Maybe when you were younger, you didn't get all the cool, all the girls back when you were younger, bro. It shouldn't be like this. I don't know why you will find this and consider it attractive in any sense at all. It should not be attractive. You see a child, whether in drawing or in real life, it's supposed to come to you as a child. Nothing sexy about this, bro. And I know that they might try to make most of them appear mature in their stories that they are telling, act in a way that is not normal for kids to behave in. It's crazy. It's crazy, honestly. I don't understand. I don't know why it is there. He goes on further to say, just like how someone who likes to play survival games will probably not like to have to do all of that stuff manually in real life, or a guy who plays violent games to be violent to people in real life. Now, he tries to throw in the whole thing that we have seen before. Just because I play GTA doesn't mean I will go out there and start hitting random people or try stealing people's cars. That's not how it works. We have heard these things before, bro. We've seen people who played violent games that try to reenact it in real life. And besides, violence and sexual activities are two very different things. One is more easier to take place than the other, which is very, very true. You could be in your basement right now and do the most unspeakable things on the internet and nobody will ever know. But you comparing it to violent acts where you have to go out, you have to think about it, plan it out, and actually carry out quote unquote real scenarios of GTA, bro. It's crazy. You cannot compare the two. It is not possible, bro. It's not possible. So people can be attracted to furries or anime girls, but not be attracted to real life animals, bro. And some people are at a point where they aren't even attracted to real life girls either, and that is where the problem starts. You become so detached from reality that you see absolutely nothing wrong with this. Now, he made the statement of saying you are not being attracted to furries, and this is where I bring in my own clause to this issue. How dare you say you are attracted to furries but not real life animals? What is the whole idea of being a furry, bro? A furry is basically an animal that is made to look like a human being. That is what it is. That is how it is. You will never see a furry that doesn't look like this. This is how they look. They stand on two legs, they walk on two legs, they cosplay as animals, but yet they have human features. This is even the clean version. If you go on the other side of the internet, the more spicy side of the internet, there are more diabolical things to be uncovered. Okay, look at this one now. Look at this particular one. Like this one now. This one now is considered a furry, right? What animal walks around with double D's? Double D's on the chest, bro. I have never seen an animal look like this in real life. So there's a difference. You cannot put them at the same level. Just because somebody's attracted to this doesn't mean they will be attracted to animals in real life, bro. Very valid statement. But lolis can be shown to be that in real life, bro. I don't know why we have to be making this whole statement again. A loli cosplay is so much easier to pull off than when you say, oh, furries animals in real life, bro. Like, these are people that cosplay as furries. Now, mind you, if you go through this image, most of them are like grown ass adult girls, bro, so it is easier for you to just wear it. They are probably on the smaller side, so they can cosplay as kids and it will not be an issue. But when you actually get a child, bro, look at this image and tell me that this is not a child, bro. Look at this image and tell me that this does not look like a freaking 12-13-year-old, bro, or probably even lesser than that, self. You are trying to imitate the cuteness and innocence of a little child, bro. That is probably what attracts people to this whole cosplay of a thing, to this whole like image. The innocence, the purity of a child, that is what they are cosplaying as. And you say there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Nah, I stand against you, bro. I come against you with Holy Ghost fire, bro. These are like how people can be attracted to Lola Bunny but not a real life bunny. Like I said before, giving human features to an animal is not the same thing as being I'm tired of this thing. Or what Lola would look like if she were real and 3D with a realistic, uncanny biological appearance. Bro, this is where the whole issue started with Zootopia, bro. Don't you understand? Even when you try to make the argument, it's still the same thing. Judy House from Zootopia is a very good example of this. No matter how tame you make it look. There is one guy out there that is definitely attracted to this thing. I'm not even trying to lie right now. And this is even the, like I said, this is even the same version of this whole thing, bro. There is somebody that looks at this and is going, right, like at this moment right now, I'm telling you, there are people that are actually attracted to this image, and this is even the same one. If you even go and look for the more spicy ones, I promise you it is even crazier, bro. Like, just imagine, bro, just freaking imagine. What do my eyes see? And you are telling me right now that there is nothing wrong here? Like, okay, like who did this? Who made this? Who made this though? Who made this? Why is it? I don't like to argue with people over this issue, because it is as clear as day. If you're attracted to a loli, bro, that means you are probably attracted to children. There is no two ways about it. There is no two ways about it. You see, but all that all depends on the person. You have to address these people personally and not with the group they reside in. You wouldn't blame a murderer and his whole neighborhood if the neighborhood wasn't involved. No, you only address the murderer and the people that were involved. I like the way they try to defend themselves by going to literal extremes, comparing the whole idea of liking 2D little girls to a murderer is like an entire escalation that I will never understand. They always go to the extremes to use as comparison, bro. This image sickens me to my core, and it is one of the reasons why I will never fully accept 7 deadly sins, bro. When they made ban to have a relationship with a girl that definitely looks underage was where I drew the line, bro. It was where I drew the line in this whole thing, bro. I became so sick to my core when they introduced Elaine as Ban's love interest. Ban is one of the most manliest people in all of anime. When you see Ban, you know that this is a man, bro. You feel the masculine energy. You feel the testosterone coming from this guy. It's pure masculine energy. So why would you take one of the most masculine characters you have in a show and make him attracted to an underage girl, bro? Because there's no way you try to play it off at school. You might say Elaine is 100 years older than Ban, far older than Ban, but why does she look like a child, bro? Why did they make her look like a child? And let's not forget about King and Diane's relationship, where it is basically stated that King literally groomed this girl because he met her when she was still a child and he was already far older and mature than her. But this one is more visually appalling to see because Diane is a giant and she later grew to be a woman. But this one is always going to remain like this. She will always be a child, and they had children. They had a child together. I don't even know what to say. Sometimes it sickens me to my core, and it's crazy. But some people will say I'm overreacting, but I'm not actually overreacting when this is actually what it has come to at this point. If you do not see a problem with this, I don't know what to tell you. But what do you guys think though? Like, let me know what you think in the comments, because I might be spazzing out. I might be crashing out for no reason though. But let me know what you think, because it to me at this point is too much.